we're going to be starting a new series on the channel where we're going to be going over the top 5 players to watch every week and my top 5 players after the game and see how my players did on my predictions. Now, I tried to start this last week, didn't really work out. I want it to be a full segment, and we're going to be making this full segment, so every week we'll be having a video about how these players did beforehand and afterhand. So you'll be seeing 2 extra videos before the game and after the game about how these players do. So this is going to be the new segment. They're all going to be separate videos, so I will not be talking about like in my post-game videos and stuff like that. But I'm going to say this right now. Preview videos are no longer going to be a thing. They're done. This is going to be the replacement for the preview videos. So these are guys that I'm going to be trying to pay attention to, and I think that could have big games. And as that will be replacing the preview videos, as those will no longer be a thing on the channel. They just don't do as well, and just it's kind of boring, I feel like, to watch. So this is going to be the new segment to replace the preview videos. So preview videos from now on will no longer be a thing. But starting off, I will have 2 honorable mentions on this list as well that probably won't stand out a lot, but that I'll be watching to see if they improve from last week on the little bit that they do get a chance to play. So these top 5 players, I think they're either going to play a lot this game, or I think they're going to have bounce-back games. So starting off, you see him on the thumbnail, James Houston. With Marcus Davenport being doubtful, I think James Houston for sure should play. To me, if James Houston does not play this game, he is the 53rd guy on the roster right now. Like, he could be cut any day. If he gets healthy scratch, he could be cut any day. That means they do not believe in James Houston, and they don't think he necessarily needs to play, unless have to. So, James Houston I'm going to be paying attention to. I do expect him to play this game, and I'm very curious to see how he plays, because he struggled massively in the preseason, in my opinion, besides against the Steelers, the last game of the preseason against the Steelers. I thought he struggled in the first 2. And last year, in the little bit that he got to play against the Seahawks before he went down, and the Chiefs, also in the one game against the Niners, he struggled a lot. He looked like he couldn't get past his man. It didn't look like he was winning any of his reps. So, paying close attention to him this game, especially with Davenport being doubtful, and potentially see if they do believe if Levi Owens-Enrique can play in the edge, or if they believe in Josh Pascal. I'm very curious to see if him and Josh Pascal get the same amount of reps. That's what I meant as well. So, and my second guy to watch is Jahmyr Gibbs. I'm very curious to see this week if he gets a bigger workload. Last week didn't really get a whole bunch of workloads. I think he only got around 8 carries, somewhere on there. Was under 4 yards a carry. He was involved a little bit in the receiving game, but not a ton lot. So Jahmyr Gibbs, I'm very looking forward to this game if they're going to play him more, and if he can keep up with David Montgomery, because David Montgomery is the number 1 running back on the depth chart, and I understand why he is, but I would also like to get Jahmyr Gibbs more involved, and I think he will have a big game against the Bucs. So that's another player to watch now. But my third player / position to watch is offensive line. I'm keeping very attention on the offensive line this game. I thought they played okay last week. They allowed 2 sacks. They were both sacks were allowed pretty quickly in the game, and then they held their own towards the end. / Kevin Zeitler as well, though. I thought Kevin Zeitler was the one offensive lineman for us last week that did struggle. That's just from what I saw, the little bit that I did pay attention to of Kevin Zeitler. I thought he struggled. Now, again, this is his first game in a Lions uniform, but I'm keeping very close attention to the offensive line and Kevin Zeitler. So that's why I'm very curious to see how they do against the defensive line. They have big Vita Vea up there. I know Kalijah Kancey is going to be out, but they also got, I think, very good defensive ends as well. Now, also, the fourth player to watch is DJ Reader. This will be his first game in a Lions uniform. He is not even on the injury report, so he will play. Dan Campbell said, and DJ Reader said that he's ready to go. So I can't wait to watch DJ Reader. Wonder how much, if he'll be on a snap counter or not, and how much of an impact will he make, because Marcus Davenport most likely will be out, and if James Houston doesn't play, that means DJ Reader is going to have to open some space up for Hutch and whoever the other edge rusher would be, Pascal, if Levi was to move to defensive end. And also, one of my honorable mentions is Levi Orange-Enrique. I thought he had a very good game last week, and I'm very curious to see if he starts to play on the edge this week, or if he is going to continue to play at the defensive tackle position. I thought he had a very good game at the defensive end position. And I've always been a big fan of playing defensive tackles on defensive end, at the defensive end position, because, yeah, they're not the fastest guys getting off the line, but, man, once they hit the offensive tackle, they're deadly. I mean, they are deadly. Again, not the quickest guys off the line, but with their power and strength, they get past the offensive lineman most of the time. So, and my last player to watch for the Bucs game is Terrion Arnold. Terrion Arnold had an okay rookie game. I thought he was made some really nice tackles, some big hits, but he did not do great in the coverage game, so I'm very curious to see if he does better this week. And will he play more than Amik Robertson? With the Fatu Melifonwu being out, Warren Strickland is not on the injury report, so he will play, most likely, this game. How much will Terrion Arnold play? He'll play a whole lot, but will he play more than Amik Robertson? That's my question. I think Amik and him played around the same amount last week, but I thought Amik had a very underrated game last week. His name wasn't really called out, which is a good thing. So I'm very curious to see how he does for this upcoming game. And my other honorable mentions are Ennis Rakestraw. I thought he but he made a crucial play, not good, but very impacting play on special teams. Jack Fox had a heck of a punt, downed him inside the 2, and Ennis Rakestraw accidentally, his momentum wasn't stopping. He was running at full speed, tried to tap the ball down at the 2, and he accidentally knocked the ball at the back of the end zone because he was going full speed, and he didn't stop his momentum down, and he didn't really have a lot of snaps on defense last week, so I'm curious to see if he gets more snaps on defense, and I'm looking for him to step up a little bit more on special teams, and if they will, play him in the special teams more over a guy like Kindlevild or Strickland, guys like that. My other honorable mention is Brandon Joseph, with Afatu Melifonwu being out and Warren Strickland potentially being a healthy scratch. I just don't know if Warren Strickland will play or not. Because he's not on the injury report, I understand that, but I just don't know if he's that much of an asset where he has to be on the 48-man game day roster. But Brandon Joseph, always been a fan of the guy. He was projected to be drafted in the 5th or 6th round in the draft a couple years ago. Got him on the practice squad. I thought he had a very nice preseason last year and a very nice preseason this year. So I'm very curious to see if Brandon Joseph will play more and how much of an impact he will make on special teams. So those are my top 5 players to watch. Leave your thoughts, comments down below. Do you agree? Is there any other players that I missed? And let me know if you like the series and you want to continue to see it. One Pride, go Lions.